Hello, I'm Anatole, and this is my review of Good Omens, Season 1, Episode 1, titled In the Beginning, and it scored 8.4 on IMDb. It is an adaptation of the book by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett. And full disclosure, I have read the book, however, I read it when it first came out, so that's going on 30 years ago, something like that. I remember the recurring joke about Queen, which they have. So if you haven't watched further into the season, I'm assuming if you are watching this, you have not yet seen episodes 2 through 6. I haven't seen them. They set up the joke because you can hear Queen being played when Crawley is driving around, but they haven't paid it off yet. However, that was something that always stuck in my mind. The rest of the plot, I don't remember. It was too long ago. So at this point, it's a blank slate for me. However, I did not reread the book because I wanted to see if I was going to enjoy this show before investing in rereading the book. And because I really enjoyed episode 1, I plan on rereading the book and finishing my reread of it before finishing the series. So it'll be useful to compare the adaptation with the source material. And I was also quite heartened to see that Neil Gaiman is the one doing the screenplay for the show. I think that he is a wonderful writer, has a very good prose style, and it'll be interesting for me to kind of try to guess what his influence in the story was and what Terry Pratchett's influence was. I have a notion, and I will research this later, that of the two main characters, Crawley and Aziraphale, that Pratchett was responsible for the dialogue of Crawley, like maybe 80%, and that Gaiman was responsible for the dialogue of Aziraphale. I could see that because Aziraphale is more of the straight man and Crawley is more of the comedy in the duo, the comedic character in the duo, and I could see them assigning duties to those roles, and maybe even in telephone conversations, role-playing what the dialogue would be like. I am looking forward to referencing that and seeing if my hunch is correct. And also I wanted to point out the opening is very much reminiscent of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and that Neil Gaiman is a super fan of those books, and his first published book was a nonfiction book about Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I'm assuming that's common knowledge, but there could be those who are watching this review that were not aware of that. So that's always useful to point out the lineage, the influences in a work. Now as to the series itself, the acting is wonderful, and we got David Tennant playing Crawley, and that was inspired casting, and I never would have imagined Martin Freeman as Aziraphale, but he is just wonderful. So with those two actors nailing down the lead spots, and then other actors such as Nick Offerman playing the American diplomat, and I don't even remember that character from the book, so I'm not sure how large of a role that is. And then the voice of God is Frances McDormand. And all the scenes hit those right notes. The cinematography is amazing, really well shot, well lit. The only gripe I have, and the humor is the humor is just exquisite. The setup, the payoff, and the delivery, and then the unexpected jokes, like when Aziraphale talks about the flaming sword, and I gave him the flaming. I might have given him the flaming sword, boy. And then Crawley pays that off. Oh, that would be a funny thing if I did the right thing and you did the wrong thing. And Aziraphale laughs and then stops. That awkward realization he's laughing at an inappropriate joke. So my only qualm was with the special effects. When the serpent comes out of the ground, that the ground looks very pixelated. It does not look very soft, and so that took me out a little bit. The special effects are good, but I wouldn't say great, because they do look a little too pixelated and blocky, and not quite as smooth and polished as Hollywood feature films can be, or even top tier TV productions like Game of Thrones can be. So that's all I have for this first episode of Season 1. I'm assuming the only season of the adaptation of Good Omens. I hope that you are having a good day and that you'll join me again later on this channel. That's all for now. Take care and be well. Peace.